It's your boy, Just On Time Entertainment. I'm here. I'm back. I told you I'm going to be on Stephen A. Smith's ass 100%. Every single time something happens, I'm owning 1,000%. I don't care what nobody say. Yep. I've been waiting for this to drop for a long time, and I'm been stewing on it for a couple days, but I'm so happy that Max Kellerman finally clapped back at this dude. He's been quiet for like 5 years. I know he was employed by ESPN after he left First Take, but Stephen A. Smith was going on a trail, kind of like he did with LeBron last year, just going on show after show after show. Stephen A. Smith even showed up on Joe Budden's podcast.
From the standpoint that white dude, highly intelligent, Ivy League educated from Columbia, smart as a whip, can talk his ass off, can talk about anything. And I get all of that. But you weren't an athlete.
To talk trash about Max Kellerman. And it's like, bro, at one point, what do we get? What do we get? Come on. So now Max is finally clapped back, and I'm here for it. Let's get it.
One partner I've ever had over like years,
yeah,
where I didn't feel like a relationship was really forming.
You could feel a little bit watching it. And it was hard to tell how much of it was theater and how much of it was like, oh, these guys just don't get along in the same way, or
whatever you feel about who you're working with and what the situation is. To me, a cardinal sin is betraying that on the air.
I just finished telling you when it come to boxing, I lay off. Did I not? I did say that. Every time you open your mouth about basketball, it's clear this ain't your expertise.
I do think it reached the point on that show where it was like, come on, dude.
I like Stephen A. and I've always gotten along with him. I didn't love how he handled the aftermath of you leaving, where it's basically like, I told you the show would be better. I just thought, because I think you're really talented.
It was like I was damn near doing the show by myself.
See, I come from the days of listening to Max and Marcellus on radio. Okay? Those dudes got me through so many days of traffic, 3+ hours. And I listened to a bunch of their shows. I'm talking about going back to when they had a dude named Primo calling in. And if Max ever hears this video, he know I ain't lying. I go back to when a guy named Kevy used to call in. And that guy has passed away. God rest his soul, right? And they would have arguments on the show about what is better, to have ants or roaches. That's the chemistry that they have. I know that sounds minuscule, but the point is the chemistry they had, they can talk about anything. It didn't have to be always a button head. Yeah, I heard Stephen A's response. It's a debate show. Come on, Max. It's a debate show. So we got to debate. Every single topic, we got to go at each other. That's not the case every single time. There's opportunities to agree and disagree. That's what a debate show could possibly be. But you got so used to being around Skip Bayless, y'all manufactured some bull crap, even though y'all might have agreed with some topics. But the simple fact for TV, you had to go at each other no matter what. Max wasn't about that. He was about realness. He's about TV. He was about connecting with the fans. And you didn't want to connect. You want to be big. So where do you go next? You go up to the bosses and you say, it's either him or me. You get rid of him or you get rid of me. So you already know what they're going to say. You the star of the show, right, bro? We're going to be on your ass, Stephen A. I'm going to go ahead and follow every single suit about this bull crap because Jason Whitlock was completely correct. I thought about this about you for a long time. And we known this, but we here.
If you're doing a debate show and you're a competitive person,
yeah,
why would you want me as a partner? That's bad. You want to go 15 rounds every day with Muhammad Kellerman? That's just bad. You know, it's embarrassing.
In an interview with Bill Simmons, Max Kellerman spoke about the difficulty of working with Stephen A. Smith and why he thinks he was booted from the show. First, he said the only thing he didn't like about Stephen A.'s podcast tour was that he aired out their personal business behind the scenes of First Take.
I didn't like working with him, man.
It's not like anyone said to me, hey, this is top secret, don't repeat this. But I think there's a general understanding that if someone's talking to you in private, it's a private conversation. And I wouldn't repeat that unless they said it was okay to repeat what they told me.
interview that I've done. So what he wanted was transparency for people to see the full workout, to see the full Colin Kaepernick. Again, you mentioned obviously Max is going to get in here, and like I said, I'm in the streets. Max almost seems blacker than you, Stephen A. with what he's coming, you know. With
And that's the real reason why Max was gone. It was that line from Terrell Owens. It was at that point that Stephen A. Smith knew he could not recover. 1,000%. He knew that in America, when people saw his ass on TV, people would look at him just like that. You remember those lines Stephen A. used to say? Stay off the weed.
Stay off the weed. It's stay off the weed. And you can't stay off the weed. He ain't getting busted for using weed. Stays off the weed. You couldn't stay off the weed. Stay off the damn weed. And they don't listen. Stupid. Sit there and stay on the weed. What's next? I don't know. Codeine, weed, alcohol. What's next? What's next?
That's what he would say all the time. Stuff like that. And Max would combat his ass and say, is it cool to drink alcohol? And Stephen A. would have no comeback. Oh, I see you trying to conflate out drinking alcohol compared to weed. Have you not seen those dudes go up on the court? Ha! Ha! He would say that shit all the time. Not realizing that, hey, look, you look crazy, bro. You look wild. But he would say what he wanted to say. So when Terrell Owens checked him about that shit, he looked nuts. And he couldn't stand it. He couldn't stand looking at Max no more. Because he saw the comments, everybody laughing. And Stephen A. Smith is very quick to respond to a lot of stuff. Trust me. Again, he got my Twitter page removed for a month because of the stuff I said to him. And I didn't even cuss and say nothing. I just said the truth. Suspended. But that was during the, that was before all the stuff that you couldn't say, right? But now you say what the hell you want to say. So guess what? Stephen A., I'm back. And I'm going to be on your ass. I keep telling you, everything you say, everything you do, I'm on you. And as I grow, you ain't going to be able to stop this train, bro. Trust me on this.
So that's what I could tell you about, like, the behind-the-scenes stuff on First Take, for example.
Max believes the reason Stephen A. booted him, other than their relationship issues, was that he was so hard to debate.
I have an idea. This is what I want to put on TV. I want to spar Bud Crawford every day for 15 rounds, and I want everyone to see it. Eventually, you're going to say, I don't want to do that anymore.
And that he could gain more traction and more money being a solo act.
If you make a calculation that if you can be perceived as a solo act, really, that you can get paid at a certain level that you can't if you're not a solo act, then you'd like to be a solo act, or at least perceived that way.
Which makes perfect sense. Stephen A. launched his own podcast shortly after the removal of Max, and he gained more power on the show. He had a rotating panel of guests that he could change at any time. He had Patrick Beverly and JJ Redick at one point, and then all of a sudden, he brought in the Morris twins. But the biggest part of the interview was Max revealing his role on First Take and why it was so hard. He was forced to look crazy, so Stephen A. could always be the voice of reason.
Stephen A. has no hot takes. Stephen A. almost never, I can't think of any counterintuitive conclusions that he ever reaches. That's not his job on the air. His job is to be the big reactor.
And this is true because if you pay attention to how Stephen A. sets his show up, if somebody else doesn't say something that he can react to, right? All of a sudden, he'll just start typing on his phone. He'll start getting on his computer like this, not paying attention because he has nothing original to say because he doesn't pay attention to the sports world. How can you? If I have my own show, my own TV show, my own radio show, I travel from game to game. It's only 24 hours in a day. when will I have time to actually sit down and watch these games? And this is where I will give Stephen A branch, an olive branch. Like, yeah, he might be spread too thin, and ESPN might be like, yo, that $100 million that we giving you, and even before the $100 million, we want that work. So when he gets on air, he's just talking. He ain't talking about a damn thing, just talking. He has no clue. I mean, we've heard this dude say things on air about particular players being on certain teams in the NFL, and they're not even there no more. And then he looked sleepy as all I can be, kind of like Brian Windhorst. Maybe like that on air. You making that money though, right? But you don't know what you're talking about. So instead, you bring on quote unquote experts like Kendrick Perkins, my guy. Yeah, Kendrick. Yeah, I remember you, bro. I'm a former Oakland Soldier my damn self. Yeah, I was right up under y'all. Yeah, when you played with LeBron and Marquise Caitlin and Leon Poe and all them. Yeah, those my boys. Yeah, bro. Uh-huh. Those the experts you bring on. Oh, Kendrick Perkins, I tell you right now. Oh, Kendrick, I know everything about basketball like I know about basketball because I know about basketball. Get fresh booties in the tank, know about basketball. Man, come on, bro. You know what Stephen A. doing. He's using you as the boogaloo. Tap dance brother. Just dancing and stuff. Don't let him do that to you, man. You better than that. Let's get back to it.
To a counterintuitive conclusion. Reactor. Just, he's there to hear the crazy conclusion that his partner has come to and actually be the everyman with a loud voice. Like, you are crazy.
Are you on drugs?
Donate it to charity.
Are you on drugs?
Right out there on Front Street on Twitter.
Stay off the weed.
He said Stephen A. had zero hot takes and would always take the safe answer on every topic. Max was basically forced to play the role of Skip Bayless. He had to find a way to come up with crazy hot takes to get views and make Stephen A. look good.
There's a lot of pressure on his partner to come up with a counterintuitive conclusion about everything. Now, how do you do that? You know, what you do is you take a topic, and a good producer will start to drill down on the topic and say, okay, so you agree about this. So Mahomes is a great quarterback, but what does he do well and what does he not? And you keep going down until until you get a divergent opinion. Well, actually, I think he is good at this. No, I think he's good. No, actually, the most important player on that, we both think this is going to win. This team's going to win the championship. We both think this is why. Drill down. But no, actually, the key player is, other than the superstar, is this guy. No, it's that guy. Actually, Draymond Green is the second most important player on the Warriors. But there was a lot of pressure on that show. Like Stephen A.'s opinion will not diverge into counterintuitive almost ever. So his big take will be, but he'll deliver it theatrically, is Steph Curry is the greatest shooter that God ever created. Who does not know this?
Exactly. That's my exact point far as not even studying or watching the game, right? So you say things like Steph Curry is the greatest shooter of all time that God ever created. Like Max said, who the hell don't know that? But why is he the greatest shooter of all time? You see, I used to get mad at Steph years back. And I'd be like, dude, stop false representing yourself like these kids can replicate what you do. Your special talent is so special that I don't care how much. Me personally, I think Steph ruined the damn game because these kids, I'll be walking in the gym, these kids be hoisting from 35 feet and they like 2 feet tall. I'm like, where are they getting this from, Steph? Stop telling them that they can do what you do because they can't. I equate it to like this. Steph, 3-point shot is like Shaquille O'Neal dunking the basketball. Literally. That's just what they do. Literally, it's that easy for Steph to shoot the ball as Shaquille O'Neal dunking the basketball. You cannot replicate what those brothers do. But Stephen A. Smith will never be able to explain to you why Steph actually is the greatest shooter. Like coming off pin downs, right? And he's coming off from the left side and he's able to curl and get his right foot squared to the basket quicker than anybody I've ever seen, him and Ray Allen. And no matter where they are, they're on balance. When he's backpedaling, he knows exactly where the entire court is. So he's never out of bounds when he shoots the ball, even in the corner, the short corner as well. Those are things Stephen A. Smith can never, ever, ever, ever explain. Ever. Getting your shoulders squared to the hoop. So even if your feet are pointed that way, your shoulders are pointed directly towards the hoop. That's not something Stephen A. Smith can explain. And that's why I'm glad that James Harden one day took Stephen A. Smith to show him, hey, show me how you shoot the ball, bro.
No warm up. You warmed up. You warmed up. I'm gonna give you some good passes too. Oh. Oh, you gotta make one of them. Come on now. Come on. Oh my God. Close the door. Close the door.
Show me how you shoot the ball. Because I need you to show me exactly what you do. Because I know that Reggie Miller talks trash, but Reggie can go out there and do it. Now, I know most D1, ex-D1 players can go out there and actually play basketball. Stephen A., you ain't showed us nothing but falling on the ground.
Where's the court we play on? Oh!
Oh, he slipped?
Congrats on the selection.
You get that?
Oh my God, I must have.
I didn't get it.
Because I wasn't looking at him.
Look at the scuff marks from the shoes. Replay that shit.
And missing shots and just talking trash. Don't forget the 6-inch screw that Stephen A. Smith got in his knee. Yeah, 6-inch surgical screw. That's what he said, at least. You got to talk to Jason Whitlock about that. He breaks it down a little bit more.
Yeah, everyone knows this. The difficulty with me on that show was it was a lot of work to keep digging until I said the thing that I believed that would also get a reaction.
Is Kawhi actually a better player under pressure than the great Kobe Bean Bryant?
Yes, he is. No one had more heart than Kobe.
So there was pressure on that show for me to keep digging
Here's a
until
great
you
one.
hear something you think is crazy.
But Max is a lot more reasonable than Skip Bayless. He even called Skip Bayless insane. So this role was really hard for him. But this does explain all the viral clips of Max Kellerman saying the most ridiculous things.
Fate of the universe on the line, or the Martians have the death beam pointed at Earth. You better hit it. I want Iguodala. Tom Brady's just about done. He is going to fall off a cliff.
And Stephen A's most famous quote, "You're wrong and here's why." Max was uncomfortable in this role and preferred to have longer debates. Stephen A could probably sense this, and it was one of the reasons he got rid of Max. It also explains why he brought in Mad Dog Russo and kept Kendrick Perkins.
You heard what the hell I said.
That last point, I kind of disagree. Because I think Max was a great fit for First Take. I just don't think he was a great fit for Stephen A. Smith. Okay? Now, if you look at it, Stephen A. Smith came into First Take after the show was created. Okay? The original name was Cold Pieces with Skip Bayless. Stephen A. Smith started contributing to that, and then Stephen A. was fired, I think, in 2009 or 10, one of the two. And then he was brought back. Skip Bayless said, hey, let's do this. And then they had a great show. Originally, I loved that show. I would watch it religiously. But after a while, I started realizing, I'm like, bro, y'all are just manufacturing bullshit. Even when you know it's bullshit. Skip Bayless ended up moving on and going to Fox Sports Network, FS1. And started manufacturing bullshit over there. Now, Shannon Sharp was different than Stephen A. He was diametrically opposed to what Skip Bayless would say every day. And then Shannon started bringing the props on and was created, so on and so on. But back to Stephen A. I believe that Max was a great fit. I think that Stephen A. did him wrong at the end of the day. And he knows it. And that's why he's still talking about it to this day. Max hasn't said a word in years. First time he's ever retorted, the first time he's ever said anything on camera. And Stephen A has been talking about that since. So who's really caring about it more than anybody is Stephen A. He wants his image to be pristine. He wants to run for president. I wish he does. Because that means all his dirty secrets are going to come out because they're going to get his ass. And I'm going to be here for all the downfall. Trust me on this. I'm going to cover it all. Mm-hmm. You're going to wonder why Stephen A. got 2 baby mamas. You're going to wonder why Stephen A.'s never been married. You're going to wonder why all this stuff, it'll all come out. And I'm going to be here for it all. I'm going to cover it all. Because you've been on bullshit for a long time, for 25 years. And you still on bull. Yeah, we're going to call you out. And I would love to challenge your sports knowledge because I don't think you got it, bruh. I would love to challenge your sports knowledge. You don't got it. You think you got it. You can have all the researchers and editors and you won't. When it comes to basketball and the NBA, you ain't got a chance, brother. And we can go back to the 50s and 60s. We can talk about George Mikan, talk about Wilt, talk about Oscar. It doesn't matter who we talk about. All the way to Bill Laimbeer. It don't matter. It don't matter. Your favorite guy, Downtown Freddie Brown, because you can remember that name. But you don't even know what Downtown Freddie Brown did. Do you remember who the best rebounding guard ever was? I don't have to look at stats. I look straight at the camera and tell you it was Fat Lieber. You remember the name for the Denver Nuggets, but you don't know what he rebounded. You don't remember that, do you? And then who would it become? Russell Westbrook. Like I said, Stephen A., have all your researchers, brother. All I need is this. Hey, this is Just On Time Entertainment. Come back to your boy. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, okay? Tell me what you want me to do. Tell me what you want me to cover, and I'll do it. I'm here all the time. I'm going to be posting all the time. I'm talking about sometime a daily, sometime twice daily, maybe once a week. It don't matter, but I'm dropping that hot fire, and I'm bringing that real. The more and more these fools on TV keep talking, the more and more I keep talking.